Hello, welcome to Farrell Swim Tech. My name is John Farrell. This is the online show where I take my 15 years of competition experience and 13 years of private coaching experience to help you get faster in the water. So we have another wonderful stroke technique review. This is submitted by Sabina, who is a member of the No Limits Lionel Sanders Tribute Discord for multi-sports and endurance triathlon. Okay. Okay. Frito, edit all of that out. 3, 2, 1. This is a person from the No Limits Lionel Sanders Tribute Triathlon Multisports and Endurance Racing Discord. Why is this name so long? I need to figure this out. We gotta come up with something. So anyway, this is a member that has requested that I review her technique, and I'm going to give her 3 things to work on. So if you want me to review your technique, farrellswimtech@gmail.com. This is the best place to get a hold of me, and I'll give you a Dropbox link so you can send your video to me so I can review it and put together a video just like this. Also check me out on Instagram, Farrell Swim Tech, on Instagram, YouTube, Farrell Swim Tech, which is the repository for all of my live streams, plus all of the stroke technique reviews that I do, and on Rumble. And I've neglected Rumble. I feel like a terrible person. So, yes, so we're going to be doing a stroke technique review tonight, and let's check it out. This is Miss Sabina, I believe. She is from Europe. I have actually now had 2 swim techniques in a row from Europe. So thank you very much for the love from overseas. So let's get into it. So Sabina is fortunate enough to be able to record her video in a endless pool facility. So this is actually really cool. I always love watching these, and I am insanely jealous that I don't have an endless pool of my own. And unfortunately, my wife won't let me get one. They're too pricey. So here we go. Okay, so first thing that I'm seeing immediately is Sabina's body position right here, okay? So you see, typically I really like to see 4 points of contact with the water surface. So usually it's the head, shoulders, bum, and the feet. Unfortunately, you can see there is a clear space between her tush and the water surface. So she needs to get her tush up a little bit more, and you can see why. Why is because there is a curve of the lower back. So in other words, she's lifting her shoulders backwards in order to get her head to the surface. This is actually really, really common with more inexperienced swimmers. And the reason that I surmise is you're still not that comfortable with swimming. Typically, when people swim that are not competitive swimmers, they always keep their face at the water surface. They're always like my mom. My mom has a big old bouffant, okay? You know, that kind of perm, bee's nest kind of haircut. I don't know where it came from, but it's the bouffant, okay? I don't know if anyone else knows the bouffant hairstyle, but my mom's got a bouffant. She never got the thing wet. All swimming, her head was out of the water all the time. Most people don't like putting their head in for long, extended periods of time. It's just not natural. And so when we try and get runners and cyclists to get into triathlon and stick their face in the water for long periods of time, there is a whole lot of terror that's going through your head, and just inexplicably, just complete reactionary. We want to keep our head up towards the water surface. So what needs to happen is Sabina's going to need to kind of curl that upper body forward. And what that's going to do is that's going to help even out that spine. So then instead of there being a curve up, there's going to be more of a flat back. That's going to lift the entire lower body up to the surface. So I like the kick. The kick is pretty good. It's really deep, and that's just because of the lower, what my guess is the lower back. The lower back is what is causing the dip in the body profile. So Now, if we look at the hands, we can look at the hands right here in this lower, actually right there in the lower left. Yeah, we're not going to be able to see much more than that. So unfortunately, what's going on is she is pushing the hands down in order to initiate the pull. And what's going on too is that she's bringing the arms up and over the water decently well, but she's shooting the hands far too deep. The hands need to come up about 6 inches. Okay, the hands need to come up about 6 inches. So instead of coming down here, hold on, we're gonna pause this and let me kind of show you what this is. So instead of coming down here, we want to come down here. All right, we want to have that closer to the water surface, because the lower that hand gets, the more resistance forces are actually building up on the arm. And what we can see is, here, right here. Actually, no, she's getting into, okay. So what's also going on is her right arm and her left arm actually have different cadences. The right arm actually sticks out. It trails long, and the left arm pulls almost immediately, okay? So let's kind of bring this back just a little bit so we can look at this. So left arm pulls, right arm stays. Left arm pulls, right arm stays. Pulls, stays, pulls, stays, pulls, stays. All right? So you kind of get the drift here. So what's happening is the right arm is glide, pull, glide, pull, glide. All right? We want to try and avoid that as much as possible. Now, this isn't that insanely crazy. I would say this is closer to what is known as a gallop stroke. I have been known to have a gallop stroke, and there's a lot of very fast people that have been known to have gallop strokes. However, that is very much so a very personalized way of swimming. I don't recommend it for newer swimmers. I actually recommend that you break that habit as soon as possible, just because it can become a very nasty habit, and it doesn't allow you to keep that continuous energy generation. Like I said before, it is a decent racing methodology. However, it is more tending towards the power side of swimming. Like when you're talking about brute strength swimming, like I would do the gallop more in my 200 freestyles, not the mile. And I would do the gallop more at the final sprint at the end of the mile, where I'm just putting everything I got into the last 50 yards, and it doesn't look pretty. Okay, it's not the prettiest stroke to look at. So I recommend Sabina ditches this gallop. Make that right arm start pulling sooner than the left arm. And then the last major thing I want to look at is the breath, okay? So right here, you can see the breath pretty easily. What's going on is that she pushes the arm out, so the right arm finishes the reach, and then the head snaps to the side, and then she takes the breath, okay? So when we take our breath, what we actually want to do is, as the arm is reaching, we're rotating our body onto the side. What's happening is Sabina is bringing her hand out here, then rotating the neck, then what is she doing to bring it down? I didn't really catch that. Is she rotate? Yeah, okay. So she's rotating her neck to take the breath. Yeah. Okay, so she's coming over here. She's reaching. She's taking the breath, and then the arm is coming over. So she's rotating it back down. So she's snapping the neck to the side to take the breath. Now, what she needs to be doing is reaching and rotating to take the breath. What we truly want to avoid is snap rotations of the neck. Not going to feel good, okay? You're going to wind up developing a neck cramp over time. It's not debilitating. It's not going to take you out of the sport. It's just going to hurt like crap, and you're going to hate yourself the rest of your workout, okay? And you're going to probably need an ice pack, and you're going to need to just do some nice, easy stretching in order to get over it. Probably get some Theragun on it, too. Percussion massager, whether you're a Hyperice, Theragun, or whatever the heck, brand you prefer. So what's just really, really important is as we reach to breathe, we want to reach and roll our head to the side in order to take the breath. We want to avoid snapping the neck. So, okay, so those are the major points that I'm seeing with Sabina. Oh, here we go. So we're getting much better look at her actual pull. So the left hand right here. So what's happening is she's actually slipping with that left hand while she's taking a breath, okay? So Sabina, I do apologize. There's going to be a lot more than 3 things to work on. I'll focus on 3 things, but I'm noticing a lot of really, really good things here. Really good things for you to work on. So I'm still going to give you 3 things to majorly focus on, but I'm going to still give you more information just so you can kind of look back at this later on and say, okay, well, it looks like I've gotten better at this. I've gotten better at that. Ooh, Coach John says I should probably also work on this as well. This is probably one of the major things that you're going to want to be working on is making sure your arms and hands are engaged the entire time. What we really want to avoid is we want to avoid pulling and letting that hand slip and then the fingers start pointing towards the opposite side of the pool. We always want those fingers pointing down because what happens is you are essentially grabbing a brick of water and you're pushing it, okay? In reality, you're actually grabbing the brick with your forearm. You're not grabbing it with your hand. If you try and grab it with your hand, it's the wrong mentality and you're completely ignoring the entire arm of the pull. So you want to grab and push like you're pushing right here in the middle of the arm. However, we don't want those hands to flip up. So what we want to do is we want to pretend that we got a little string on our middle finger here, and then I can pull this string a little bit towards me. Keep some tension in that hand, the wrist and hand. Keep that thumb in line with your wrist, okay? When you start here, your thumb will not be in line with your wrist. Your finger's going to be pointing down. But as you bring that hand towards yourself, that thumb is going to be in line with your forearm. And this is where you're going to get the most power. If you let your hand slip here, you're shunting a bunch of water off your hand. You're going to decrease the amount of acceleration you're going to get per pull. So Sabina, you're going to want to tighten those hands up just a little bit. Just tighten up that inner wrist just a little bit, okay? We don't want to be like, you kind of see my whole arm tensing up. You're going to cramp and it's going to feel like garbage, okay? Just a little bit, okay? And all you got to do is just what you want to do is just spend some time right here, just kind of tense everything up to where it's just slightly uncomfortable. We want to work on getting the stiffness of our arm, okay? So you can do it with your right hand and your left hand, okay? So we're just going to tighten everything up just a little bit. Try and get about a 90-degree angle with your arm, okay? If you engage your biceps and your triceps, you're going to lock your arm in about a little bit more than a 90-degree bend, okay? Technically, you want to be about 110-ish is the general consensus of what I've seen, but you want to get that elbow bent and you want to get that thumb in line with your wrist. Take some time. You're chilling. You're watching a show. Just take some time and stiffen those arms and just get used to them being stiff for long periods of time. Just kind of squeeze everything together. This is actually a really good exercise. This is an isometric exercise, and this is just going to teach you how to keep those hands nice and tight while you're swimming so that you're not losing any push area due to lack of stiffness, okay? Over time, you'll build strength. It's going to make your swimming a lot better. I can absolutely guarantee it. Okay, so what do we do? How do we fix these things? Okay, number one, snorkel, 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 snorkel. Okay, use the snorkel. Use the snorkel. Link in the description below. Make sure that you buy a. I'm sorry, I got a. I'm a big time gamer, so you saw a little Steam notification down there. I do apologize. What you want is you want to get a snorkel, and you want to learn how to keep your whole body on top of the water. So if you do not have a very good kick, totally fine to use fins. What we're trying to do is we're trying to get our shoulders and our butt right at the water surface the entire time, okay? So just nice, long streamline and kick with your snorkel on top of the water, okay? Avoid using a kickboard for this because with a kickboard, you wind up kind of drawing your shoulders backwards unless you're very, very accustomed to holding a kickboard in a very elongated, prone position in the water. It's going to be pretty hard. So I don't recommend using a kickboard. Use a snorkel, use fins. If necessary, you cannot use a snorkel. Long streamline. Take one stroke to take a breath. Kick, 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 kick. Take a breath. Kick, 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 kick. All right. So that's what you're going to want to do. There's not too much dry land that you can do in order to fix this. A lot of this is just going to have to train your mind to push your face in the water just a little bit. Allow your butt to be at the water surface and just kick with a small kick. So Sabina, you have a pretty good kick. I'm not too necessarily worried. I'm pretty positive that you are capable of getting across the pool without fins. However, if you can't use fins, if you cannot kick, if my assumptions are wrong and you cannot kick across the pool, use fins. So basically the other thing that you're going to want to look at is once you do the kicking, then you want to introduce one arm at a time. Do single arm freestyle while maintaining that body at the water surface. So then beyond that, you're going to do one arm at a time. Do it right arm only. Do it left arm only. You're going to want to check and see if there is a particular arm that's kind of breaking your concentration and causing your body position to fall. Roll your shoulders forward, space out your lower spine. Don't draw your shoulders back. Draw your shoulders forward just a little bit, and keep that concentration while the arms are going as well. So then with the head position, what you're going to do is you're going to learn reach and roll. So you breathe to your right side. So you're going to be reach and roll and then come back. Reach and roll and then come back. And then do it upwards. Reach and roll and then come back. Reach and roll and then come back. It's actually going to be much easier if you do it in a chair that you can swivel in. So then you can just reach and roll to the side, come back. Reach and roll to the side, come back, okay? And then reaching out is the easiest way to get the rotation. But if you really think about it, if we reach out in front of us like this is actually reaching down to the bottom of the pool. We don't want to do that. We want to learn how to roll our body to the side as we reach towards the ceiling, okay? So that's why when you are in a chair, then you want to be reaching up towards the ceiling. So let's see here. Last thing is going to be, just the tension in the arms. Oh, excuse me. Make sure you have tension, especially in that left arm, and avoid doing the gallop. So when your right arm gets out, reached out and extended, reach, grab that water. All you got to do is just grab that water earlier than you already are. You don't have to change the tempo of your arms. Just grab the water earlier. That's going to do you a lot more good rather than allowing that right arm to just glide out there And especially with how low you have it, you're dragging yourself backwards every single stroke. Yeah, okay. Here, hold on. You can actually see it in okay. You can actually watch when Sabina gets taken backwards by the current, okay? So right now she's been swimming with this current for about a minute, okay? And I can see that she's already starting to fatigue because she's being pushed back just a little bit more by the current. Now, I don't know what the pace is that this current is set at. However, when you see the right arm and back, right back. Okay, you see that every time she reaches with the right arm, she is slowly moving backwards ever so much. This is absolutely golden footage as to why you don't want to do this. Okay, you see every time that right arm, she's being pushed back just a little bit further. She is struggling a little bit more and more to maintain her speed because that right arm is causing it to be basically a sail. You see right here, this is right at the beginning. This is at the end. You see how far her head position has gone from the beginning of the footage to the end of the footage. So over time, what's happening is as she is, and this is not mocking you, Sabina. This is just analyzing what's going on and what is causing you to shift backwards the most in your footage here. Okay, so when you get a little bit past that minute, that was about 105 that you really start seeing the right arm shift back, shift back, shift back, shift back. Okay, right there, right between about the 105 and the 111 mark. Each time that right arm goes in the water, she is shifting backwards just a little bit further. All right, this is why we want to keep the arms moving at all times. Doesn't have to be insane sprinter velocity. It just cannot stop, because what happens is when you get into a position to where you're actually fighting a current, if you actually have a current coming against you, if your arm is out there long, that current is just shoving you behind. And people wonder why a lot of people DNF'd up at Monterey. Ironman Monterey. A lot of people did not finish. Over 400 swimmers did not finish Monterey. Why? They couldn't fight back against the current. There's something to be said about, okay, the swimmers just were not fast enough. However, I contend there's going to be a lot of swimmers just like Sabina who are not grabbing that water immediately and pushing it backwards, and kind of under a somewhat false assumption that, oh, if I just glide with my arms out there, I'm going to be conserving energy. The sad, sorry truth is, unfortunately, you're not. You're losing ground, you're losing acceleration, and on top of that, you're forcing yourself to add more energy into the equation because you're losing more of it through inaction, okay? So, Sabina, all you got to do is just when that right arm reaches out, grab it earlier. That's all you got to do. Fix that and then get the stiffness in, so especially that left arm has a little bit something more stiff to push on. So with that, I would say between the stiffness, the continuous pulling, and fixing the body position, I think you're going to be in a position to where you can actually start pushing the envelope harder. I would highly, highly, highly recommend in your workouts, because you have a lot of things that are going right. Because I mean, if you look at the lower right hand, you're a little bit wide. You're a little bit wide with the arm pull. I would try and bring those arms in just about a foot each. So let me show you there. Okay. Arms are a little bit wide. That arm is wide. And hold on. Okay. That arm is better. But We want that, especially that right arm, we want to bring it in towards the center line of our body about this much. So you're about here, and no, let's go full camera. You're about here, you need to be about here, okay? So work on drawing that arm a little bit more inward. So yeah, that's going to be about it, Sabina. So, thank you so much for allowing me to review your video. It's always a pleasure to review these videos. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you want to see more of these videos. If you want to see yourself on this show, this is a free pay what you want. I do the analysis for free, and then I request donations so you can pay whatever you want. feralswimtech@gmail.com for any and all inquiries. I have now done within the last 2 hours, I have done 2 separate stroke technique reviews for people across the pond. I am located in Southern California, and so it's always a wonderful thing to find people internationally that want to use my services. So thank you very much for reaching out to Feral Swim Tech as the owner and the only person that does anything with this channel. Thank you very much for trusting me with your swim footage. Please tell your friends. Please tell your fellow triathletes. I am always to review anyone and everyone's stroke, from the pros, especially a pro. If you know any pros, hook me up. I'd love to work with pros, please. So if you like what you see here, please hit the follow button, hit the like button, all the buttons. Hope to see you next time on Feral Swim Tech, and check out my affiliates down below: Team Noon, Team Zoot, I'm sorry, Blat Frito. Edit all of that out. Crap, I've had to do that twice this episode. Dang. Frito's my editor. He lives on the other side of the garage wall, out in the cold, freezing rain. Don't ask. So that's a joke with my gaming stream that I typically do. But yeah. So noonlife.com, wonderful electrolyte tablets and powders to help power your workouts. Zoot Sports, fantastic wearable paraphernalia. Whether you're racing, training, or you just want to look spiffy, go check out zootsports.com, and also dynamictriathlete.com. Check out dynamictriathlete.com. They're a fantastic stretching and mobility app. 15 minutes a day will make you a better swimmer. I absolutely guarantee it. With the offer code SWIM, SWIM, it winds up being about $80 a year or about $8 a month. Got a big race, want to get a couple months of good stretching routines in, the monthly option is great. But if you just want to future-proof yourself and you want to add a good, high-quality stretching routine into your workout schedule, check out the $80 option with the offer code SWIM, SWIM. It is just absolutely great. I love working with them. I love using their product. I don't rep anything that I do not personally use. I use Dynamic Triathlete all the time. Helps me feel so much better about myself. And links down in the description below. Also, check out the link tree, which has a link to my Amazon store, where I have curated my favorite items that I work with, have worked with, or would love to work with, and things that I think will definitely take your swimming to the next level. So anyway, thank you all so much for tuning in. Sabina, once again, thank you so much for the footage, and we'll see you next time. Hope to see you on the live stream, Team Zoot Facebook page, about every Wednesday morning, 5:15 a.m. Pacific time. I do a stroke technique about how to swim faster freestyle and anything else that has to do with swimming. So anyway, that's going to be it for me. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Keep training. feralswimtech@gmail.com for any and all inquiries. And until later, my friends, good night, Isaiah Norris. Who, wherever you are, I'm out of here. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye.